everybody.
Hello. You keep your rats in your extensions?
I do. It's a nice little nest for them. I'm actually getting them taken out next Monday, and I'm kind of excited about it. Yeah, because these ones are the kind you can't reuse.
I gotta mute the stream. Hold on.
Oh, hello, it's me. Anyway, so I can't reuse these, so I'm like, just take them out. Just take them out for now. Hello, I can see you guys. Yay.
We should be fine.
Okay. Now with feeling. Hey guys. So it was funny because obviously you guys can tell I'm at Steimer's house. Yeah. And Steimer's like, I only have one chair. And I was like, I'll bring a folding chair. And then I forgot to bring the folding chair because I went to an event today and was just like forgetting things. And so I was like, let's move your couch. And she's like, we can't do that. And I was like, yes, we can. So we did.
So we moved the couch.
Looks like Andrew and Steimer are slightly quiet.
I think we're going to be quiet because this microphone is not designed to pick up wide audio.
Okay. Well, Whiskey Jack, you're just going to have to
it's designed for one person. It's not designed for two.
So. Deal with it.
Oh, gold dust. I love it. I love it. Hello, hello. Hello, hi.
Oh.
I can't see you guys, and I'm very sad about it. So I'm looking at the stream.
My laptop.
It's like delayed.
Let me get my laptop.
Yeah, so those of you who are watching, which if you are, I guess you're seeing this, I can't see Andrea or Steimer, so I just have to look at their pretty faces and the same stream as you are, and it's like a delayed thing, and that is all I got.
You know, it's going to be okay, Brittany.
It is. It's going to be great. I mean, after all, you never get to see me at all when we do our podcast lately.
It's true. Yeah, I haven't seen you the last 3 shows. Oh, I just realized that my phone was falling off the wall. That must be new. I have foam up, which probably does nothing, but it makes me feel better.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's light pink. You bought it for me, Brittany, and then on the company card because I didn't have one at the time. But now one of the tiles is like falling.
It's waving in the wind.
Ooh. It's waving in the wind. What the heck?
What's wrong?
Oh, no, nothing's wrong. I'm just looking at my video on the stream, and above my Earthbound box, it's... it's because I'm just a little square in the... Okay, I get it now. Okay.
What?
It's kind of like... Okay, so on the YouTube stream...
Oh,
it's
you thought it was... You thought something was wrong with your... I see.
Yeah, I thought maybe, like, it was a glare.
That's my door.
Yeah, that's a good door.
That's a glare on my door, so it's not your wall.
I'm tripping balls. I was telling Andrea, I've had a headache, like, all day today. And so I think I'm like a little woohoo. You know, the kind that like mess with your brain, make you feel all fuzzy.
I do.
Yeah.
I do indeed. I finally got my trainer to up my calories today because I was like, my bro, I can't function. And he was like, okay, fine.
Oh, good for you.
Have another 100. And I was like,
yeah.
Yes, give me another 100. Thank you. Goodbye.
So what are you spending them on?
Food. Fat. The shitty part is like keto already is hard. And then keto and calories is even harder because fat per gram is much higher. So like there's usually 9 calories per gram of fat versus like 2 or 3 for a carb. And which means like the amount of food you're eating is not very much, but you're getting a lot of calories. So it just doesn't feel as satisfying to eat 40 grams of fat versus 40 grams of carbs. 40 grams of carbs, you're like, yes, delicious. There's a decent amount of food here. 40 grams of fat, it's much smaller. So you're like, meh. But like you're still satiated, but it just doesn't feel, it's mentally not as satisfying. Right.
And you are someone who likes a good meal, Steimer.
I sure fucking do.
A very good meal. I know. You're really good. I'm proud of you. You're doing it.
I mean, we'll see. I'm like, I don't even know if this is worth it because I'm not going to do this forever and then I'm just going to get fat again. So like, what's the point?
Oh, get fat again. Shut up. You have all those muscles, girl.
You won't get fat again.
No.
Here's the thing. First off, Steimer, you were never fat, for the record.
I was once when I weighed about 150 almost.
You were just a little fluffy.
Yeah.
You were not fat.
Okay.
And I think what's really great about what you're doing right now, obviously keto in the diet is temporary. Everybody knows like keto is just not sustainable, and it's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be on keto for long term. But the muscle and strength training you're doing will stay with you long beyond when you've decided you want to start eating donuts again. And that will help you burn more calories at rest. And that's the really important part of the work you're putting in. So, yeah.
And that's what I want. I want Steimer to be able to carry me around conventions. That's all I want.
No, Ignacia, this is Steimer's apartment. The PC, the streaming PC, is at the PC hospital right now. So we had to stream from Steimer's PC.
Poor PC.
My PC was not built for this. I mean, actually, technically it was at one point, but this PC is 3 years old.
And that's
It's
old
not
for a
bad,
PC.
but it's semi-old, and none of the parts have been updated.
Yeah.
So shall we get to some questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The first one is from Nam Nom Noms.
Ooh, food.
Many Pro console controllers have, as an added feature, additional buttons on the underside near the grips. Do you think this is the next evolution of the console controller? Is the next console generation, in the next console generation, do you think standard controllers will include these grips or grip buttons?
Grip buttons. Okay, wait. Buttons or grips?
So the buttons that are on like the Xbox Pro controller, or even I think the Astro one might have it, like behind the triggers, there's like another button lever thing. I hope not. I don't really ever use them, but
yeah, I think we've seen when more buttons have been added to controllers, they get used. I'm thinking like the touchpad, right, on the PS4 controller. It's like, cool, that's a nice quick menu, or open up your map if you want to swipe it. But I feel like I haven't played a game that's had a profound use. I like what we got.
yeah, I'm
don't add
fine
anymore.
with it.
Yeah, I hope not. We'll see though. We'll see.
We will indeed.
Indeed.
I want to show something because I'm excited about it. I bought custom art. I want to show you.
I'll have to wait to see it, and I'm sad. Hello, Ben Checkness. Hello, Ignacio and Devin. Did you say something, Eddie?
All right, I think that showed it.
It's really sweet.
What is it? Oh boy, I have to.
Oh
wait
yeah,
to
because
find
Brittany can't see us because we're sending our webcam into OBS, so we're just a black screen.
She'll see it in a minute when I bumped myself. When the shows up.
Oh, say bitchin'?
It does say bitchin'.
Bitchin'. That looks like something from Austin Powers, and I love it.
Yeah.
I hope that didn't ruin it for you. Okay, good.
No. I love that he went 70s with it. So basically, he was doing this Instagram sale, and he was like, "I want to just make custom art. Here's some frames." So I was like, "I want that one," because it was the smallest size and the cheapest. And then he was like, "Okay, you can pick a word or you can pick a phrase," and I was like, "Well, I've always wanted to do the phrase, 'You have no power over me,' but that seems rather long." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, let's do bitchin' then."
Oh, I love it.
He was like, "Okay."
Do you have a spot for it?
I could put it up, but I'm planning on trying to move out of here.
Oh,
So-
right.
I don't want to yet.
Yeah.
There's a spot I could go, though. But I want to find a place with AC.
That's a very smart, good
Dimer's
call.
got really great art though in her house.
Oh, she does.
It's really great.
I like her butt art in the bathroom. It's the best.
Okay, next question. Hello, what's good? I just finished Gears 5 campaign this past weekend, and while I hold the opinion that this is the best game in the series since the first two, I'm confused as to a particular decision the Coalition made.
Spoilers?
Okay, so I'm going to stop reading, Brandon, because I haven't finished the campaign, and we're going to skip your question, and you can submit something else.
Sorry.
Mike, you look like you started a question, and then it cut off. So maybe you submit yours again, too. I'm just going to delete this, Brandon, because I don't want to see any spoilers. Next up is from Assassina. She's got 3 individualized questions. Andrea, how did your kitties handle the move? One of my cats, who's usually a sweet boy, becomes a demon with that kind of change. It takes him a week to acclimate. Britt, have you played Astral Chain? I finished it recently and thought of you as it seems right up your alley. Steimer, What's your favorite thing to eat with your new diet? Can one of your vlogs be a rundown of your daily meals? So
Who wants to go first, Andrea?
you go first.
Oh, okay. So my favorite thing with keto is fat bombs. They're fucking amazing. They're basically just like really rich desserts. And my favorite one granted, I've only made 2 so far because they last for 2 weeks for the amount that I make. But the first one I made was like cookie dough, and holy shit, it's good. It's really mostly cream cheese. It's like cream cheese, almond flour, sweetener that's not sugar, and then stevia sweetened chocolate chips.
Can you send that recipe
and
to
like
me?
I think a little vanilla. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
And they're so good.
That sounds great.
And yes, I can do. No, I haven't. I have the mocha ones this week. But I probably am just gonna make those ones again next week because I liked them a lot. But yeah, my next vlog can absolutely be kind of a rundown of what's in my fridge and all that stuff, because literally everything here, except for like I still left the pasta that's like up there, but that's mostly because it's decorative pasta and I never eat it. It just like looks cute. Like and I'm like, whatever, it's just there. I'm not bothered by it. It never tempts me. It's just there. It's been there for a long time.
Do you still have your tin?
My tin?
Your tin you got from London?
Oh yeah, the biscuit tins.
Oh, I don't see it
one
in
of
your
them,
frame.
they're behind the other things. But yeah, no, they're over there. There's one actually I think that still has biscuits in it, but
Ooh.
the others I took to work and like left them out. I need to do that with the other one too, actually.
Maybe I'll open the biscuits.
You should. 'Cause they're like actually they look good.
Yeah, let's try them. Let's hope they're not stale. So my question, my cats handle the move pretty well. I counted that I've moved 9 times with my cats so far in their lifetime.
Oh, so they're seasoned.
Yeah, they're usually a little wonky for the first day or so, and then Ghost gets a little like creeped out by the new noises for like the first like couple of weeks. But like they're chilling as long as I'm home. It's just when I'm not home is when they kind of like freak out a little bit, but they're good.
Oh, they're so handsome. I know during the last show, it was Ghost, right, who was being super clingy.
Yeah, that was Ghost.
Oh, it's so cute. Astral Chain, I have not played it. It's on my list of games to play, but I feel like every time I'm about to, because I'm trying to, my backlog, it's pretty intense right now. So I'm trying to get caught up. So I'm trying to finish what I have. And then I'm hoping that maybe this winter I'll have like a free week or something to play it.
Well,
but
we
we'll
could've popped
see.
them in
It's
the fridge.
definitely on my list though, for sure. Because it does look like something I would totally love. But you know, this little game called Link's Awakening's out. Steimer, are you going to play this? Andrea, are you going to play this?
What?
Link's
Link's
Awakening?
Awakening? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. You should.
Here, give
I
me
think
your
you'd like it.
computer. Wait, did you answer your question, Andrea?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Brittany said yes, and she said no. Oh, okay. Okay. So Brian from Seattle asks, "What is the worst thing your mom caught you doing as a kid?" Which is actually a hilarious question, but I'm trying to think now. I'm like,
I know. I'm trying to
I was
think too.
honestly a very well-behaved child because I was afraid of my parents.
I was too. I think I was also I know I was a super like obedient kid. I would say the worst thing, and this isn't even that bad at all. I had a boyfriend in elementary school named Dallas from 3rd until 5th grade, maybe. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so he was much more mature than I was, you see. And so he would write me. We were in the same grade, but this was in 3rd or 4th grade. He would write me handwritten letters because that's what you did back in the day. And it was like, I can't wait to kiss you. He's like, let's go meet out behind the background. And have you ever heard of French kissing before? And like all of this stuff.
Wait, how old were you again?
9.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that age. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
and,
two were much more developed than I was. So I was
Oh no,
not
girl,
doing
no.
that.
I was not. No. He was. I was just a wee little lass who just liked to stay in my little hermit cave and play games all day. So I didn't know what any of this was. So it
You were
freaked
like,
me out.
What's
So,
French kissing? Does it have French
Right.
fries?
so I would Oh, there should be a version of that. I'm sure there is. Anyway, so I would take the note and I would crumple it up, and I would put them in like my underwear drawer. Duh, my mom did my laundry back then, so of course she found them. And I remember she like chased me throughout the house holding this piece of paper being like, "What are you doing?" And it was really awkward and embarrassing, but that's probably it. She caught me kind of making plans to French kiss a boy when I was 9 years old.
Listen, at 9 years old, if you haven't stumbled upon your parents' porn yet, you're not trying hard enough. Okay. I had already stumbled upon him. So
Oh yeah.
the definitely most embarrassing thing, that my mom ever caught me doing happened when I was 16. And I told this story as part of my application to be on The Real World when I was like 19 years old, dating myself quite a bit. They're like, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? And I was like, well, my mom walked in on me having sex with my boyfriend.
No.
True story. So we were downstairs. So we had a condo. I was living with my mom. My sister was living with my dad. And it was a two-story condo. We were in the upper. We had a neighbor in the lower. But in the basement, there were 4 storage units. Were essentially like mini studio apartments.
Okay.
Where we had like a TV and my keyboard and a bunch of other like stupid shit. And I knew my mom was home, and had been drinking apple pucker, and so my boyfriend and I went downstairs and like started making out like on the floor. And I don't know if it was because it was like past curfew, or I think maybe my mom looked out the window and saw my car outside, but like I hadn't come inside yet, and so she's like, "Well, there's only one other place that she could be." And then she came down.
The bone zone.
Saw me going full like cowgirl on the boyfriend.
No.
Yeah. She turned on the light and all of the lights came on. And like I like turned around and like holding my like little boobs like and she's like I'm not even gonna ask why your pants aren't on. I just want you to leave this house right now. She turns off the light and slams the door, and I'm standing there, and my boyfriend's like, holy shit, you're in so much trouble. I'm like, you're in so much trouble.
Oh, so it's not even like she knocked. You had. Oh no.
Oh no. She did not knock. She barged in and turned all of the lights on so she could see us.
Oh, I can see your mom doing that though. Your mom's like a very intimidating woman, but she's the sweetest woman in the world.
Yeah.
It's like you see her and she's like, that's a badass right there. She will lay down the law if she needs to.
It was pretty horrifying. It's funny. We laugh about it now because it was like
a
lot of years ago at this point. But yeah. I broke up with that guy anyway. It was fine.
I mean, that definitely tops any story. So kudos.
Maybe we should tell John.
Knowing him, he'd probably still get jealous, even though I was like 16. Be like,
okay, yeah, is that a male thing? Because even, I mean, I don't care what, like, okay, we're going to go off for a second. I don't care what Jason did before me. It doesn't matter. We all lived our life. No big deal. But whenever I try to tell a funny story about, like, what an ex and I did or something that happened, he's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. He says he wants to live in this fantasy world where I was, like, his first and only. And most of the women I've met.
Really, Jason?
Yes.
I expect better from you.
No, he doesn't want to hear any stories about me and my ex. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I don't know, man.
I understand the idea of not wanting to hear stories about the ex right before them, right? Because it's like too close and like feels a little weird. And quite frankly, you're like, I don't want to hear that person ever existed. But like this fairy tale world where you went into your relationship having never touched another man in your life, like, really, bro?
It's a little weird.
Yeah, man. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from Paul. I heard someone else ask, what is Christine's day job? You don't have to answer if you want it kept private. Just curious.
I mean, it'll be disclosed more. It's disclosed as you shove the microphone in my mouth.
Answer.
Whoa, fuck. It's disclosed at random times, depending on if we need to or if I need to. But in general, I don't really talk about it because I like to keep them very separate things. But it is in the game industry. And again, if you listen to the show, I do occasionally disclose where I work. That's my answer.
What you do at that job or no?
I can't. I just don't want to talk about my job.
Then let's not. We're here to have funsies and hear about my most embarrassing stories.
Yeah, I'd rather hear about you having sex with people and your mom walking in.
That's the kind of podcast I listen to.
Okay. Next, from Ben. Thoughts on The Last of Us? No, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I'm embargoed.
I can tell you. What I can tell you from that trailer.
Yeah.
Because I haven't talked to Andrew yet.
We're gonna talk about it on the podcast too. But Britt, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I haven't seen
it. Oh my god.
I haven't had time to watch it today.
It just looks so good. And this is the thing I do. I was at my parents' for the most of the day today. And whenever I see a really awesome trailer or something, I get all excited. I'm like, Mom, you have to see this. And I show her. She has no idea what's going on. And her response is always the same, but I appreciate it because I know she's trying. She's like, that looks just like a fucking movie. That's incredible. Technology has come along. And she said the same thing with Red Dead Redemption. She said the same thing with Resident Evil. Same thing with Last of Us. But when you see Joel, I squealed. And the release date is much sooner than I thought it would be. I'm just very excited. Oh, my God. Give it to me now. Give it all to me. I grunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Summer, you should watch it. I mean, I know you can't right now.
I'm going to. Yeah. That's not an issue. We'll be watched.
Oh.
I did not have the time today.
Oh,
but it
God.
does. I did tweet about this already. It bothered me that it's not 2020. It's 2/21/2020. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Is it because the 20's a Monday?
I don't care. I don't care what day of the week it is.
No, actually, 2/21 is a Friday.
Put it out on a fucking Thursday. Come on.
That's random. Usually game releases are Tuesday.
No, they do have Fridays for big releases too.
They do, but primarily
But I am irritated that they didn't go with the
2020.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Damn it, Neil. You had one job.
You had one job, one opportunity. Did you capture it or did you let it slip? Oh my God,
right.
I need to brush my fucking hair.
Next. Hey, ladies. Is there a specific game that you wish you could have gone on media blackout for? I know that has to be near impossible considering what's good games, but if you could, what would it be? Could also be for a future title. Thanks as always. Love, Devin.
I mean, there was one that I did go on media blackout for because I didn't know it fucking existed and it was great, and that's Fire Emblem.
Yeah, girl, that's actually a great answer.
That was amazing. It worked out really well.
I would say recently, Resident Evil 2, actually. I did get to go, and here's the thing, is I was going to go to any event that I was invited to check that game out, and so I was invited to visit Capcom and play that game for a few hours. But the problem is, and I'm kind of running into this with Borderlands, is when you do these media events, the first, part of the game, you already know what's happening. And so it's hard to really get that engine roaring and going because it's okay, I've been here, I've done this, I've done that. I would like to do a media blackout for The Last of Us until February, if possible, but we'll see.
Now.
Well, I saw the trailer.
You've seen multiple trailers.
Trailers to me are not the same as playing. Because I'm with you, Britt, and that's part of why I'm glad I never went to a Borderlands event where I got hands-on. Because I just am like, no, this is the kind of game where I have also very little stamina on usually, unless I'm playing co-op. And so anything where I'm like, oh, you play a couple of hours, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that there because it'll ruin it for me when I go to play it in reality.
Right.
I wish I could have been on media blackout for Death Stranding because I think I probably would have been more excited
I feel
for
like
it than
I still
I
am.
I think that's a good answer, actually. Yeah, I think Death Stranding is one of those ones where you really don't need to know anything about it because you can't know anything about it because it doesn't make any fucking sense. So what could you possibly know? And then you just play it and you go through the weird. And that's what you're going to do. That's what we're all going to do.
Punctified says, I'd love to ask about TLU 2, but I know there's an embargo. Somebody probably beat me to the how did the move go question. So, how was everyone's Tuesday? Actually, no one asked how the move was specifically. They asked how it was for the cats.
Well, that's the most important part.
So the move went relatively painlessly because we had a lot of assistance from a couple different moving companies courtesy of Disney. So thanks, Disney. And the house is 80% unpacked, which is pretty good. And I have a couple more things to do. I haven't finished putting my dressing room together. The studio is still in boxes, obviously, for the most part. Even though I did unpack a lot of the boxes to make sure the equipment made the trip okay. It's just in a corner now because we have to do some construction on the studio space. But overall, really good. I jumped in the pool and almost fell off the diving board because it's broken, and so we have to get it removed. So that was a little terrifying for a half a second, but
do you get
survived.
it removed, or do you just don't use it until you feel like getting it removed?
Well, we don't have to get it removed, but we don't want anybody to accidentally try to use it while we're not looking.
Wait, maybe you should leave it because then if someone breaks into the backyard and then is like, I'm gonna go diving, and then they fall and they break themselves,
they can still technically sue me.
Oh, that's true. I forgot that that's how stupid
Well,
the
there
law
goes my
is.
retirement
Never
plan.
mind. I was gonna say it's like a built-in alarm, not alarm,
Yeah.
like a burglary deterrent, but no.
Yeah. Well, we have an umbrella policy for this exact reason, in case somebody tries to sue us. But yeah, so we're getting it removed, and we're really excited that whenever you move into a new space, just like finding little bits and pieces here and there. Like I found a really cute soap dispenser for the bathroom at TJ Maxx yesterday when I was looking for toilet paper holders, because another thing about moving into a newly renovated house, they sometimes just forget to do things like put door stops in. None of the doors in the entire house have door stops. Found that out by wham, and it like banged into the wall, and I was like, holy shit, there's no door stops on any of these doors. Also, no toilet paper holders in any of the bathrooms. So I had to fix that. You know how there's like a thing on the wall that you put the toilet paper on?
Yeah.
None of the bathrooms had those.
So I guess a lot of toilet paper holders.
6 fucking toilets in my house.
Did they have? I wonder if they had the things where you just like stack them on top of each other.
Oh,
But like that's weird.
No.
Yeah, like
Nothing.
wow.
I had to go buy a couple of those because in some of the bathrooms, the only place to mount one would have been in the vanity. But the vanity has like a glossy veneer on it. And so I didn't want to drill there thinking it would crack. So I just bought a couple cute standy ones. But like these are the little things that you think about when you sit down to pee and you're like, where's the toilet paper? John.
Did you have to go through every single bathroom in your house in order to figure that out? You're like, okay, I haven't peed in this toilet yet, so I got to go there and see what the functionality and the feng shui is like in this bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next question. My question this month is for Britt, says Agent 47. I think you'll see where this is coming or going, maybe. But I just have to ask and say this to you because, well, for some
scared.
unknown reason, I've managed to miss your YouTube channel for almost 10 years.
I think it's starting
What?
early.
Okay. So I've been watching your old videos from time to time and stumbled upon a really cool and funny series of videos called Brit and Dad Plays.
Oh.
I never laughed so hard in my life watching someone play video games. Not that anything else you do on your own is not cool or funny, not at all, far from it, but watching you both and your dad casually play video games and having fun is still a real joy. Your dad is awesome, extremely funny, and a wonderful human being, Britt, and I wish him all the best. So my question is, would it be possible, with all of the tight schedules and amount of work you're already doing for us, to see you both together again playing games at some point, or maybe even an entirely new series for WGG patrons only? Maybe its own Patreon tier, maybe?
Oh. It's really funny that this question is asked today because when I was over at my parents today, I got my dad, because I got him a Switch when they came out, and I got him the SNES. Today I downloaded the SNES channel, whatever it's called, on his Switch. And so all day today he was playing Super Mario World, and that was the game that he and I were primarily playing on my old channel. And so I was like, that sounds really fun. I would love to get that series. If there's one thing I did on my personal channel that I'd like to bring back, it would definitely be that series, because that was the first game I ever played was Super Mario World, and he was my co-op buddy all growing up. So for sure, like I want to make it happen, and I've been thinking about it. And now that it's on the Switch, it's a lot easier, and just like with the setup and all that. So I will try. I will give you that. I can't promise anything, but it's definitely something I want to do. I want to finish it because we were in the last world, or the last area, the chocolate mountain area, whatever the fuck it was called.
I had a light bulb moment, Britt.
Oh.
What if we bring our dads down to play something for Father's Day next year? Oh, wait, that's like right after E3.
Yeah, it literally is right after E3. But
What
that's
if
still a
we
great idea.
shoot something with them in April and save it for Father's Day next year?
I would be more than down. That would be really fun.
It could be fun.
It would be really fun.
Something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna wants to know, what's up, girl? What's your best or worst moving story?
Oh, man. I try to block those out because they're very stressful.
Oh, you think about it. I know exactly what my worst moving story is. So I spent my junior year of college studying at Cal State LA in East Los Angeles, studying TV and radio production, and I had my little Volkswagen Beetle. And I was moving back to Minnesota to finish my journalism degree from spending a year out here in California. And so I packed my car tight, crammed every nook and cranny of the back of that Beetle because the seats folded down in the back. And so I had this nice little dome of just like junk that I had accumulated over my year in California. And my friend Katie, who was a foreign exchange student from Sydney, was like, hey, can I road trip back with you? I'd like to like see some other parts of the U.S. and it'd be cool to see your hometown. I'll never get to the middle of the United States ever again. And I was like, I don't blame you, but yes, you can. And it was always good to like, not do that trip alone. Yes. So we decided to drive together. And our first stop was Las Vegas because it's about 4 hours from Los Angeles. We're like, oh, that'll be a nice, easy first day. And we decided to stay, I think, at this like shitty travel lodge, like near the Paris hotel. We went there and got a glass of champagne with our fake IDs, and we went out and, yeah, I had fake ID. That's right. I did. And then the next morning we were planning to set out pretty early. So we walked back to the hotel and went to sleep. We get on the road. We're about probably 10 miles outside of Las Vegas on our way towards Utah and to go up into Wyoming and through Montana to take the northern route. When I start hearing this like whop, 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 whop. And I'm like,
no.
I was like, that's not good. And then the car starts to shake a little bit. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? And so I pull off on the first exit that I see. And I get out and my back tire is completely flat. Just completely busted out flat. And I'm like, oh no. I go, the back of the car is completely filled with shit and the spare is underneath everything that's packed in the back of the car.
Oh no.
I had to, on the side of the road in Las Vegas heat in like June, unpack the entire car that I had meticulously packed to get the spare tire out. And so here's all of my shit, like my pillows, my clothes, my computer, like everything is just accumulated on the side of the road as I'm like trying to get to the spare that's in the hatch underneath, like, the compartment in the back of the trunk. And so then I finally was able to get to it. And at this point, we get the tire out. And thankfully, because for whatever reason, the Beetle had a full-size spare. That was awesome because I had so much weight in the back of the car. Using the little donut probably would have been pretty perilous. But my dad still wanted to replace it because the first thing I did was, of course, I called my parents and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like 20 and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
Call AAA.
And that's what they said. But at the time when we had just gotten the tire out, a pickup truck, a really nice like 4x4 pulls up behind us, and this guy gets out. You could tell it's like a contractor because he's got like the name of his business across the side, and he was like, hey, do you ladies need some help? And I was like, yes please. I want to pretend to be a really strong feminist, but I'm dying of sweat. I just unloaded all this shit from my car and you look really strong. Will you please put this spare on for me?
Help me. Here's the jack.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah.
That sounds terrible. I actually haven't had a terrible moving experience. Well, I mean, it's been always a pain in the ass just because it's, I moved from like downtown Seattle, like south a little bit, and doing anything in downtown Seattle is just a literal pain in the ass. I once had a box of PlayStation 2 games stolen, and that's it. That's my worst story, so that's not too bad.
Oh, at least they were replaceable.
Yeah, I didn't know what games were in there, though, and I still don't know. But knowing me, it was probably 5 copies of, like, God of War
I was like,
2 or something.
You duplicate a lot of stuff. I'm sure you have all of those games still.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Because I was worried about that. You're right. I was worried about that happening, so I labeled, like, every box. Like, I put, like, a small number on every box, and I had, like, I don't know, like, 15 boxes of games or something. And number 3 was missing. And I was like, oh, you bastards. But that's okay. They probably did me a favor in the long run.
Why did you have so many copies of that game?
Garage sales. So I used to do a lot of garage sales, and like God of War was like the number 1 game you would find at garage sales. I don't know why. It was just something that everyone played on their PS2, and then they sold it for $1. And I was like, I should get that. And I did. And that's why I had like 10 copies of a lot of games.
Nice.
Not again.
I once had a computer monitor stolen during a move.
I haven't had anything stolen. I just had a very stressful, I was in college and I was trying to like rewrite 2 papers while also figuring out how to get my shit into storage for the summer because I went to school on the East Coast and I lived on the West Coast. And like it was just like an impossible task. There's an impossible amount of things for me to have done in that one night. And I took Adderall, which was a bad idea because it just made me lose focus and made me loopy as fuck. And so I ended up trying to play. I don't know. We were like, I grabbed my friend. I was like, we're going to Kroger and we're going to do a scavenger hunt. Why? I don't fucking know. We just actually originally I think we were just doing Kroger, and then we ran into some dude at the Kroger who talked to my friend. And then we ended up driving around all night with this guy who definitely could have murdered us and left us in a ditch, but instead was very nice to us and came back the next day and helped me pack my storage unit.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
Oh. Wow.
I don't remember his name. I remember he said he was in the military, but also had been a former stripper. And like, that's all I remember.
Wow.
Well. What
Dang,
a convenient thing. Just for everybody watching the stream, I realized it would be easier for me to just turn Brittany's volume down to match ours, so then you can turn your volume up on your end. So sorry about that. It didn't click for me to do that until just now. So hopefully our volume should be relatively similar. So you can, if you're like, oh, they were quiet before, now you can just turn everybody up. No yawning.
I know, girl. I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's that Benadryl. Kicks my ass.
Stop taking it.
I only took it once. Now I'm paying the price.
Francois would like to know, do you still get stressed or nervous before shooting a podcast or hosting an event? If so, how do you deal with it?
Podcast, no. Podcast is whatever. Events, yeah. Sometimes. Depends on what they are. Like the EA thing you and I did, Brittany. It wasn't like sweating bullets nervous, but you get, a little butterfly in your tummy.
Yeah, of course. I used to get super nervous even when I would first, because I've always been an introvert. So even doing YouTube videos on my own channel, I would get so nervous before recording something in like the safety of my own house that I would just drink a whole bunch of whiskey beforehand. But obviously I've been doing this for a while now. That doesn't bother me. But yeah, like I agree. Like doing live panels and live events always gives me a little bit of butterflies. But you just power through it, man.
I definitely still get nervous before events. The podcast thing, I don't get nervous before our podcast because we've been podcasting together for a couple of years now. So I'm super comfortable with these girls. But if I'm a guest on somebody else's show, sometimes I'll get a little nervous depending on who it is and what I have to talk about. But I almost always get nervous before hosting an event. It's just like, I don't feel like it ever goes away. And I think it's a good thing because it helps keep me on my toes. I feel like if I walked in really nonchalantly, it means that I'm not trying hard enough. So I still definitely get nervous. I get really nervous before live events in front of thousands of people because the pressure is really there and there's hundreds of people that have worked on the event usually, and all it comes down to is me saying the wrong thing or slipping up or making a mistake, and then it could ruin the work of all these people because the internet doesn't ever remember the good stuff about what happens about live events. They always remember the fuck up, and they will never let you forget it. So thankfully I've been very lucky that I haven't had any major mishaps happen, but still get nervous every time. Okay, so Brandon wrote in with a replacement question.
Is this Brandon K. Ganondorf?
It is Mr. Ganondorf. Is spring becoming the new fall? In light of today's Last of Us Part 2 trailer with impressions in a couple of days, I'm buzzing that going broke before May. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, The Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk 2077 makes 2020 stacked before next E3. Do you think that this is a good thing that so many great games are coming out so close to one another, or do you think it should be spaced out more? Thanks for taking my question. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. P.S. I try to be extremely careful to not mention any specific spoilers. We appreciate that, Brandon. But I got spooked. You said something. I saw the word spoiler, and I just deleted it. I got spooked.
Yeah, that's fair.
So.
You don't spook a horse. They run away.
Oh.
They just leave your ass there.
Yes, I'm looking at, just like he was saying. Okay, so we got Ori, February 11th, Gods and Monsters, which is that Ubisoft game that I'm personally interested in. February 25th, whatever. Final Fantasy VII Remake, March 3rd. Watch Dogs Legion, March 6th. Animal Crossing, March 20th. Oh my God. Help.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it stresses me out a lot. I was even stressed out like for this fall, and this fall's not that packed really when you think about it. But it's just like work's really busy, and it's like, okay, how do I fit this into my life? So when it looks like that, you're just like, oh god damn it. All right, well, rip. But
Yeah,
also like, yay, good games. But then,
no,
but where's
exactly.
the time? Where's my time turner? That's what I need. I need a time turner, and then everything will be great.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this on the show. It's tricky, and it's something, I've always covered games, but never so consistently on like a weekly basis, right? Where it's you have to be on top of everything. So it was kind of before where you got to pick one game and you wanted to focus on that and make videos and content surrounding that game. But when you have a weekly show, right, there's that pressure of, okay, so we got about this week, and then this comes out this week, but I also want to have a life outside of the game industries where I want to go like travel and do some other stuff. But if I do that, then I'm not going to have enough time to play this game and that game. So it's an interesting thing. And I think it's something a lot of people don't, when you're getting your hair done and your stylist is trying to make small talk and they're like, so like, how's it going? I'm like, oh, it's good. I'm going to go home and like play these games because there's all these games and deadlines I have to meet and blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, wow, it sounds like such a rough life. And I'm like, it's not. But it does kind of add some sort of like overhead, you know what I mean, to like your day-to-day like functions of life.
Of course. And I think that it's all about time management. And I'm with you, Steimer. I'm all about that time turner life. I have a fake one, but I wish it was real. They make time turners, BT dubs. You can buy them.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Brit. It's from Harry Potter. It's what Hermione uses to do multiple classes every day because her schedule is too full. So she uses a time turner to go backwards in time to do extra classes because she's an overachiever.
That sounds amazing.
If I had that, woof, my life would be so different.
Yeah. Next question is from Drew. Drew asks, a couple of months back, I began learning Japanese. I've mainly been using Duolingo, some YouTube videos, and a beginner's guidebook I purchased. Britt, after hearing you talk about learning it on last week's episode, I was curious how you stay motivated to learn and practice. The last couple of weeks, I found myself falling behind on my daily tasks. Also, any tips for things to do that have helped your adventure that is language learning? Andrea and Steimer, if you have suggestions, feel free to chime in as well.
That's so cool. Actually, today is my 1-year Duolingo anniversary for learning Japanese.
Congrats.
So that's fun. So actually, when I first started doing Japanese, not only, but primarily I've used Duolingo, and I studied it hard for like a month and a half, but I went too like balls to the wall and I burned myself out, and then I stopped for about 3 months, and then I recently picked it back up. I would say in April-ish, and I've been doing it every day for I guess about 5 months now. I guess which is what helps me is this is a language I've always wanted to learn. It's just one of those innate things that I can't really explain, but I'm just fascinated by the Japanese language and the culture. And obviously, like a lot of my favorite games are, JRPGs and whatnot. So, and there's a lot of games that don't get localized over here. So it's been something I've always wanted to learn. To stay motivated, it's just one of those things that I love. So the motivation just kind of comes naturally. But I would say don't burn yourself out. If you can like urge yourself, or if you can make yourself do a lesson, even if it's just like 20 minutes a day, just do it and you'll feel so much better after. But if you feel like you have extra oomph in the motor, do more. And if not, it's okay to take like a few days off now and again, but it's really important that you do try to do it several times a week because that's how memory is formed and stuff like that. So yeah, and I also watch a lot of videos. If there's days where I don't feel like I want to study Japanese because I'm feeling too burned out, I'll watch a video on like Japanese culture or like some phrases that I should know. And at least I'm doing something to work toward that goal. That's helped me.
I have not done any language stuff since school, so I will not be super helpful there. But yeah, I think what you're saying is key, Britt, in the sense of like you just have to, if you just are able to do it for a few weeks, it eventually becomes a habit. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be a lot easier. And start slow. Don't be like, I'm going to do this every day starting tomorrow. Like you won't do it. That's kind of setting yourself up to fail. I think starting smaller and working your way up makes a lot more sense. If you're like, all right, I'll do one of these once a week, and then I'll do it twice a week, and then I'll do it 3 times a week, and just kind of keep adding that way until you build up to the cadence that you're looking for. It'll be a lot more sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Also, play a game like Judgment or Yakuza. They're really great too. Gets your mind going because there's like Japanese like hiragana and katakana everywhere, and you're like, oh, I can read that, and it makes you feel good. I can't see what the ladies are doing, so it's just quiet. So
I
don't know
was
what's
just doing an awkward pause to see how long you would wait until you said something. Mostly because I saw Punctified say 7 days until Shadowkeep, and I'm like losing my shit because I haven't finished Gears or Borderlands yet. I'm dead.
Oh,
Dead.
look.
I guess that's what I'm doing this weekend. Okay.
I'm waiting for you for Borderlands.
Yeah, let's go.
Because Borderlands, I'll talk about this on the show too, is one of those games I cannot play alone. I will not play alone.
I'm with you. What level are you at?
7.
Okay.
I played until you were like, I'm 7. I'm like, great, I will play until level 7.
I played last night for a little bit with Solid Snake, and so now I'm like level 9.
God damn it.
It's okay. You'll catch up really fast. I'm using the so in the special edition that 2K provided us, it comes with a grenade mod that has like bonus XP, and that's what I've been using. Even though there are better mods that I've picked up now because it has like a 10% bonus kick. So
It's good until like level 10, right? I think because that's what I used to.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, Rihanna asks, what are your convention must-haves, like small shoulder bag, backpack items that you cannot arrive to the show floor without? Hand sanitizer is like number one.
That's literally what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer. Get away
yeah.
from me, you filthy animals.
It's just, you're just touching too many things between controllers, shaking hands, doorknobs, bathroom stall handles. Like, you got to carry hand sanitizer with you. A bottle of water or a refillable bottle of water is also pretty key. I usually bring like a mini makeup kit because I'm obsessive about brushing my hair and shit. Must have
You're on camera a lot.
True. Must have items you cannot arrive to the show floor without. Your badge. Yeah. That's important. Your ID.
It depends on the convention. Sometimes they'll let you bring snacks, sometimes they won't. But like something to nosh on while you're walking around. But it also may be confiscated, so be careful.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what your schedule is like. You know, we have a lot of back-to-back appointments, and sometimes leaving the convention floor for lunch just isn't a thing you can really do. So I always bring snacks. And if you have like diet restrictions, make sure you bring snacks that fit that, obviously. But like, you know, for a while there, I was trying to also go keto, and I'm like I'm like half in, half out. But
that's not how keto works. You can't do half in, half out.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like I half try, and half the time I'm like, ooh, rice. But on the show floor, you know, food restrictions are there's like not a lot of stuff that's like made for you, if you know what I mean. So just bring stuff that like, you know, will hold you over in a pinch, and like water, like they said. I always bring like energy drinks if you can. You know, it just depends.
Your
like
5-hour energy shots.
My
yeah,
5-hour Kirkland signature. You know,
I'm bringing a cell phone charging cable at the very least, but if you have it, a little portable battery, because your phone is working overtime to find signal when you're inside a con because there's so many signals competing for space on the tower. So I would definitely recommend bringing a charging cable, and if you have the space in your bag and you don't mind the extra weight, the battery is also very clutch.
yeah, girl.
I usually like bringing a lightweight scarf of some kind too, especially if it's warm, because that way if you walk into a really air-conditioned room, because sometimes we'll go into meeting rooms and it's freezing, but we're in like tank tops or dresses, and so if you have a little scarf that just rolls up into your bag, you just whip that bad boy out and, you know, wrap yourself up while you're in your 45-minute demo, and then when you leave, tuck it back into your bag. You're good to go.
Punctified said, shoes with extra padding. The walking is the worst.
Yeah, I like my Ultra Boosts a lot for conventions because they're really cushy and you can walk around and not have a lot of joint pain after.
So, fun story. Jason used to go, well, he still goes to the conventions with me, but not as many anymore. But anyway, so all this walking, his feet were killing him. So he was like, what if they made vibrating soles? He's like, because vibrating soles would feel really good on your feet as you're walking around the show floor. So we went to a sex shop and bought about 4 different vibrators. And he tried to like jerry rig it so you could stick the vibrators like in your shoe and walk around. And it was the most hilarious thing. I've never seen anyone walk around with like dildos attached to their shoes.
Steimer, you missed the story where Brittany just said that Jason went to an adult sex shop to buy vibrators because he thought it would feel good to put vibrators in his shoe pads, and so he tried putting. How does that even work though?
Because he would strap it like to the side. So the first one he got.
Wait, so he was like, walking around with like pocket rockets strapped to the outside of his shoes?
Yeah, I have a video. No, he was walking.
Holy shit!
He was testing it out in the apartment, and it clearly never like saw the light of day. But I have a video. I'll just show you the next time I see you. It's pretty funny.
I
You know, like,
Jason is a smart man.
Yeah.
He really
That
is.
is probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard him do.
Well, they actually make vibrating souls. Like, it's a thing, but none of them are powerful enough to actually like feel good. Because after that,
So he was
"There's
like,
no way."
I know the lady bits require more power.
He's like, yeah, he's like, so I actually wonder if this would actually even feel good. It did, but obviously you can't fuck her. Anyway, yeah.
Well, at least now you've got a collection of pocket rockets for your pleasure. And that's going to do it for our questions for this month's happy hour Q&A. It's been fun hanging with everybody. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this late night. I know for some of our folks who are in other time zones or across oceans, it's a little inconvenient, but thank you guys all for hanging out and for asking us some good questions. These are some revealing questions this month.
It was a revealing stream today. It was good.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to try to do a little troubleshooting to make sure we've got the stream ready for the after hours stream. We're going to get spooky up in here. We're going to try to get Man of Medan running on Steimer's PC.
It'll be an adventure.
Yeah, we're going to cross our fingers and pray to the PC in Steam gods that OBS wants to run Steam and OBS at the same time.
I'm going to pray that this guy who built my computer 3.5 years ago actually knew what he was doing. And like built something that can run both a video game and my stream. A real video game. Because obviously I've done streams before with this PC, but it's like Stardew Valley.
Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy. Like it's nothing. I think it'll be fine. But it was also more of like, this is not how you want to play Man of Medan. You want to play it on like a TV and like be chilling. But whatever. It's fine. It'll be fine. This is fine.
We'll
have
figure it
a
out.
gun moment.
Yes.
We'll make it work. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for being part of our fantastic Patreon community and for being with us. I hope at this time next month that will be at least in my house. I don't anticipate the studio being ready in a couple of weeks because we're already at the very end of September. But at the very least, we can all be together. So in air conditioning. Ooh. It'll be lovely. But for now, if you guys want to get into the after hour stream, you can head on over to the Patreon page. You can up your pledge, and we've got the new link there for you guys to check out. And we'll see ya in about 35 minutes. 7:30 is when we're gonna kick things off. Okay, bye everybody.